really like to talk about stuff unless I got something to say. I showed it to you like 7 months ago. And then I've kind of teased you since then. I think I'm ready. It ain't gonna be what you think. What are you doing, Mama? Yeah, what are you doing? I'm trying to make a video. Why don't you take your scooter out there and ride it? Why you keep leaving it in here? Can I finish my video now? There you go. Mia, I'm trying to make a video. Alright, come on. What I've learned about him on my own terms is completely different from what I thought, from what I've saw from other people. I was completely surprised at what I've learned from these guys because while I did know a little bit about FAHAKA puffers, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or if I'm doing it so different that I'm getting such different results. But I'm happy that I learned for myself. You know, if anybody asks me, I can say, I guarantee you I know this because I did this and this happened. I normally do that. I will buy a fish that I kind of have an interest in. I won't do a whole lot of research. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that whole do your research thing. I'm trying not to rant too much, but I have to explain myself. Because if I don't, I feel like, well, I know I'm going to get a lot of heat. But anyway, I'll explain at the end of the videos. But let me show you these guys and tell you about what I found. All right? This is not a care guide. No. This is what I've found, how I'm keeping them, and what I've found, which is completely different from what I thought I was going to find. Check it. I got these 3 from Consolidated Fish Farm, and I got them when they were so itty bitty little. I got them 7 months ago. They were the size of pea puffers. In fact, when I first saw them, I thought they were pea puffers, but no, they were actually FAHAKA. I knew they were FAHAKAs when I brought them home. Saying when I was at Consolidated, I thought they were pea puffers. Dan had to tell me they were FAHAKAs, and I was like, oh, I would love to try one. But then I started thinking to myself, hold up, wait. What if it dies on me and then I won't have any? I said, so let me get 2 because they were so little. I was worried for their health. You know when you get a baby fish, it's dangerous because you don't know if they're gonna make it when they're that little. So I thought to myself, let me get 2 in case, you know, the one itty bitty baby doesn't make it. Then I thought to myself, well, shoot, when one dies, then I'm going to be stuck with one, and that one might look stupid or deformed, or, you know, I might not like the way it looks, and I won't be able to, you know, I'll be stuck with it. So I was like, let me get 3. That way, if one dies, I'll have 2 to pick from, and I'll be able to give the other one away and keep the better of the 2. So that's why I got 3. And lo and behold, all 3 of them lived. So I got to find homes for 2 of them, which I have people to give the other 2 to. In all honesty, I'm kind of digging them. So I'm kind of kicking myself in the arse because I'm trying to figure out ways to get out of giving them away, but I already promised them. But I'm trying to scheme ways. Oh no, see what happened was I was going to give it to you, but now I can't because this, that, and the other. But these things are going to get like 18 inches big. So, I mean, realistically, I can't keep 3 fish 18 inches big that need to have their own aquariums. Realistically, I can't do that. But the guy in me, the fish keeper in me, the impulsive person in me wants to do it. You know? Anyway, so here it is. I had them all in a small aquarium. They were all in planted aquariums. All 3 of them, when they were smaller, were in planted aquariums. And to be honest with you, they were there until they was about 1 inch. Now, from what I knew before, they were supposed to grow pretty fast. I was told that they grew 1 inch a month. I did not find that to be true at all. They did not grow 1 inch a month. Because if that was the case, these guys should be 7 inches because I've had them for 7 months. And they are not. In fact, this guy that you're looking at now, he is, let me see. Come on. I know it's hard to judge, but he is, I give him 3 inches. He's 3 inches. And I mean, they've always had great water quality. I've always kept them well fed. But he is nowhere near 7 inches. In fact, they honestly kind of grew very, very slow. No matter, how much I fed them and changed their water, I felt like they were growing very, very slow to the point where I thought I was doing something wrong. So I started trying to experiment with different water, different tank parameters and tank scenarios. After they got about an inch long, I noticed that they started chasing themselves, each other. So I felt I wanted to separate them because they do not have scales. They have very delicate skin, and I didn't want them to bite each other where I had to medicate them because, these type of fish, once they get injured, medicating them can be kind of difficult. And I didn't want to go through that. So I figured, you know what, let me baby them and separate them into their own aquariums. Now, that's what I did. That's my particular favorite one right there. So that's the one I'm definitely keeping. This one, let me go into it right fast. This one is the second largest. This one was actually a little bit smaller than that one, but he kind of shot up in size. This one, and you see what he's doing right there? He's kind of just laid there. He's always been the least active. But where was I? Okay, so size-wise, they kind of stalled out. From an inch to 2 inches, they kind of stayed in that realm for a long time. I tried different food sources. I had a snail farm of ram's horn snails. I tried trumpet snails. I did brine shrimp. I did bloodworms, which bloodworms seem to get them going a little bit, but it still kind of stalled them out. They wasn't growing as fast as I thought they should be growing, according to that 1 inch a month rule. So and then I started into ghost shrimp, and I tried getting ghost shrimp from the pet store, and it seemed to do a little bit better. They seemed to be more interested in the food. I was surprised that the ram's horn snails, when I introduced the ram's horn snails to the aquarium, they did not really attack that food. That snails, they kind of just watched it fall to the bottom, and they wasn't very interested in it. They were interested more in the bloodworms than the ram's horn snails. So I was baffled by this, because every time you saw these fish on YouTube, they were very, gung-ho with the food. See, he just kind of chills. In fact, I had him in bare bottom tanks for a while. It wasn't until I put this sand here that I saw them do anything, really. This guy, he kind of buries himself a little bit in the sand. These other two do not do that. This one is the smallest one. He is the most active, and he does not grow. He's slimmer than the other two. Like the other one, two are chunky, But this one is slimmer, but is just as ferocious a eater as this guy, my guy. But he's the smaller one of the bunch. And they all started out the same size, but this guy obviously slowed down. But he is way more active. He rarely goes down to the bottom and just hangs out at now you want to come out. Now you want to be active. All right. So I put ghost shrimp in there, and the ghost shrimp really didn't they would just stare at it, and they would kind of ease up to it, bite it, and eat it. And they would leave them kind of there for a while and kind of eat them at their leisure. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, all the other ones I've seen, they would attack the food. So I was like, all right, let me try something else. They were still a little, they seem, look, they seem to be fighting at the glass too, these two. So I tried different foods. I know people was like, oh, you got to give them clams and stuff, but I feel like they're still too small to really get a bite out of clams. At least clams that I could buy that are small enough for them. I don't know where I could get small enough clams for them. I could try mussels. Mussels have a thinner shell that might work, but I don't know. So this is what I did. I tried freeze-dried krill from the reptile department at a LFS, and I noticed they loved it. They attacked it, and I noticed a huge growth spurt. They really, really started to put on weight and size with the freeze-dried krill. Not only that, like I said, they actually seem to have some type of interest in some type of food. And I'm going to show you right now. Let me put this on pause for a second. I'll show you how vigorous they go after this freeze-dried krill. So this is the krill that I found. I know I said it was from the whatchamacallit section, but this was actually in the reptile section. Anyway, but it is Hikari. Is it Hikari? Is this a Hikari brand? Yeah, it's Hikari krill. The only problem is I feel like it's a little itty bitty bit too little, but let's and it's whole krill. It's not like the krill freeze-dried squares. It's the whole krill. But let me show you. I don't like it. It is, look how small it is. I'm not really feeling how small it is. Granted, I took out a lot of the bigger pieces already. And now there's only little pieces, but I'm okay with the little pieces. The reason why I'm okay with the little pieces is because I don't feed them really that much at one time. Because it is freeze-dried, there is a risk of... All right, you ready? This guy, he's a ferocious eater. Look, he knows. You know, don't you? Because it is freeze-dried, I do run a risk of feeding them and them swallowing it so much that it goes into their stomach, into their system, then it rehydrates and expands in their system. That's why they say when it comes to freeze-dried food, you should hydrate it, which is basically soak it in water so that it doesn't get into their system, then expands, and it could cause problems. I tried that. The problem is that once I do that, they don't like it. They don't want it. They want the crunch. They want to crunch it. So I give them a very, very small piece. See? You know. Yeah, look at him. Look. Oh, you want it. You want it, don't you? You want it so bad. You're gonna bust your face on the glass to get it, but you can't get it. Show everybody how bad you want it. How bad you want it. Look at him. Look at him. All right, I'll stop messing with you. Here you go. Here you go. Come on. Now, everybody wants me to feed them with the tongs. I don't feel like it's necessary. Oh, see, look at him. Now, he ate that a little too fast, in my opinion. So, see, that's why... Oh, he got a little bit. He ate that a little too fast. And they're getting so big. The bigger pieces of krill, he had to rip it into shreds. And as fast as he ate that, I worry that that's going to rehydrate in his stomach. So that's why I don't feed him a lot at one time. I'll do that throughout the course of the day, like 5 times. That one little piece, 5 times. Because they all come in such small pieces. When there was bigger pieces, I didn't worry about it because I could watch him crunch it up and tear it into shreds. And I was positive that it was not going to... But he just pretty much swallowed the whole thing. And it was... I run the risk of him... Look, and see, he is not as food ferocious. Hey, didn't you watch him just eat? And I don't want to put this in there for him to not eat it. So... He's just, I don't know. He's just boo. If these were like Winnie the Pooh characters, he would be like Eeyore. Now this little guy, like I said, he is just as a ferocious eater as my guy right there, but he just doesn't grow. Come on, look. You want some? Look at what I got here. Look at it. You know you want it. Yeah, see. Now look at him. Because he's smaller, he has to work at it. So I'm pretty sure that it's not going to like get into a system all in one piece and then rehydrate. You know, because he's so much smaller. Like, see it? Like right now, as I'm speaking, it's rehydrating and he's crunching it up and it's going to get in his system and he's going to be good, you know? But look how much slimmer he is. I like him. I like him a lot. This guy, hey, dude. Like, he just does what he wants to do on his own time. There are times where I come here, he comes straight to the top of the tank, and right now he doesn't really care. But my guy, this one I'm definitely keeping. Hey, buddy. Look, if I were to bring this up, he'd be ready for some more. You want some more? You want some more? Look, let me pull it out. See, look, he knows. You want some more food? You want some more food? Look, see? I love him. I'm tempted to name him, but the problem is that I don't name my fish. I'd be afraid that if I named him, that he would die. Because that's the myth, right? Once you name your fish, they die. You know. Oh, he ate it. He's eating it behind the Aquafunk sticker. But I love that guy. That's my bud. I really love his red eyes and yellow tail, because y'all know I love yellow. I love his personality, you know. I love the fact that they don't act nothing like those stupid pea puffers. Like, these are way more personable than those pea puffers, especially him and the little guy. You know what I mean? Way more personal. Like, if I buy pea puffers, it's going to be to feed him. I'm not gonna lie, I would be tempted to get Cross River puffers, but they're pricey. These are actually a decent price range because they're way more available. The Cross River, which is a cousin to this one, doesn't get as big. It only gets about a foot long. This one is gonna get, you know, like 18 inches long, but the Cross River is a little bit more manageable for the average person. But I wouldn't mind having a Mimbu and a Cross River, just getting the three of them and having, you know, 3 large aquariums and having each specimen. I like the bigger puffers opposed to the smaller ones. I think they just interest me more, everything I've learned. I was told that they grew an inch a month. That's obviously not happening for me. Is it because of the way I'm keeping them? I didn't read anything or see anything, but like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of research about them having a stall out. I kept them in a Planet tank. I've kept their water parameters pristine. I've kept them in bare bottom tanks. I kept them in tanks by themselves. I kept them in tanks with other fish. I kept them in different scenarios, trying to figure out exactly, you know, how they thrive. Honestly, like this, with feeding them the krill, is the only time I'm getting any type of action or personality or any type of enthusiasm out of them. Feeding them the krill, keeping them in separate tanks where they can see each other, but they can't get at each other. I got the temperature at 80 degrees because I pretty much keep all my aquariums at 80 degrees. I don't check my pH all the time. Last time I checked it, it was at like 7.8 or something like that. Because I don't chase pH. I don't try and do anything with pH. I remember a while back I tested it from my tap, because whatever my tap is what it's going in. It was like 7.6, 7.8 or something. I'm dyslexic. I don't remember. But I know it wasn't 7.5 and it wasn't 8.0. It was like in between there. Slight variations, but I said, oh well, that's what it is. It's what it is. These are African fish, and usually African fish keeps higher. See, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I like. I know the fish is from Africa. I know most every African fish has a higher pH tolerance. You know what I'm saying? So I know that. You know, so when I think about, should I get this fish? Do I have to do a whole lot of research? I kind of just, I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna find out for myself. I'm not gonna read what somebody else did. I'm gonna figure it out for myself. I'm gonna do my own research. You know, these people who say, do your research. I don't want to learn what somebody else did. I want to do it for myself. That way, when somebody asks me, I can tell them with 100% certainty that I know this. I really, really get irritated when people use that phrase, do your damn research. I said I wasn't going to do a rant, right? While you're doing research, I'm going to do... I get it. Some people like to read up and stuff like that. And that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. I know people are going to be in the chat and be like, can't believe you got 3 FAHAKA puffers and you didn't even think to look up on anything on it. No, I didn't. I have enough faith in myself to know that I could keep them alive. You know, as far as them thriving or whatever like that, because they didn't grow an inch a month. Now I know. You know what I mean? Now I know. They're not dying. They're obviously lively and all that. Are they stunted? I mean, in my opinion, I don't think they're stunted because they going through their growth spurts. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm learning. That's what this is about, right? I have tanks to put them in. You know, I feel like it's time. It's definitely time for Big Boy over here. You know, it's time for him to get a bigger tank, and I'm more than happy to put him in it. The other 2 are going to other homes, unless I could, come up with a good excuse to renege on my promise. Like, look, see what I'm saying? Look, that's my boy. That's my boy. Look, he coming to me. Now, you want food? I know he wants food. That's why he's here. And then look, my little boy, look, he coming out here too. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, MIA. Nowhere to be found. I appreciate you checking out me and my puffers. If you enjoyed this, here's some other videos that you might also like. And if you feel froggy, go ahead and subscribe, like, and I thank you in advance.